Hello, Samantha Faye here. I'm so excited that you're joining me for yet another edition of the Sunshine Channel. What I'm going to share with you today is a question that a client had for me last week. He asked me, how can I tell the difference between feelings and intuition? And I really liked that question. I responded to him by saying I'm going to make a video about it. So here we are. The one thing that was coming to me in the meditation that I was just doing before creating this video is also the differentiation between intuition, between feelings, and emotions. How can we define and categorize those so that they are very clear? One, so that you can clearly describe what it is that you are talking about in a way that is very efficient when describing or just communicating, especially in relationships. But also how to handle different sort of business situations or how to make decisions, or if you're going to make a large purchase. Knowing the difference between your intuition and your feelings, as well as like differentiating between your mind as well, is going to help give you a leg up in every single situation. That's a benefit. That is the advantage of understanding your intuitive connection as well as connecting with your innate abilities. So, intuition. Intuition is a way that your spirit connects and communicates with you. Your intuition is your higher self letting you know that either there's a warning, that there's something good that's happening in your life, or that there's something that you need to act on in that moment. That intuitive hit is something that comes in usually as a gut feeling or a knowing. Knowing is also claircognizance. It is the ability to know without having reason, without having rhyme. You don't need to have the formula, the step-by-step, well, how did you get to the answer? You don't need any of that. This is an inner knowing. That is a channel that your spirit is letting you know that something is pure, that something is coming into your life that is meant to be there. The intuition as a gut feeling is a sensation that you get or that you will receive when you know that something is meant to be in your life. Or at the same point, when you know that something is not meant to be in your life. One of the biggest incongruencies I see when people are not listening to their intuition, their intuitive guidance, is self-medicating. I see a lot of people drinking their intuitive guidance away. They don't want to listen to what their spirit is telling them is best for them. Drinking, drug use, self-medication, all of that will cloud that connection and cloud that focus, which will allow you to continue doing the things that you know are not good for you, but you're going to do them anyway because you have a strong ego that's coming forth. That intuitive guidance is your spirit trying to help you get on your path. You came here with a very, very specific purpose. You came here with an intention of lessons to learn, of people to love, of connections to make. All these things are things that you agreed to before you took the body. Your intuition is that compass. It's your inner compass, as well as your heart. Your heart is that magnet, but your intuition is that inner compass. So intuition does show up as feelings. It is a sensation. It is a feeling that you get. It's a hit that makes you kind of scratch your head and makes you wonder. Now, if you don't have a lot of experience in learning how to trust your intuition, you might doubt that. I doubted my intuition for years. I didn't listen to it because we are all trained in this society to think logically, to use a formula of delineation that will allow us to make choices that are going to have the best outcome, throwing out intuition, throwing out passion, throwing out the compassion for ourselves and our spirit body. So the intuition is your inner compass. That is what is going to bring you to your divine purpose, whether it be through meeting somebody, whether it be through showing up at a restaurant at exactly the right moment. That timing is involved in this as well. Your intuition shows up in so many different ways, in very minuscule, very detailed ways, as well as larger, grand major turning point, choice points as well. So the intuition is something that I highly encourage you to start to learn to trust. A very simple way that I like to teach people to learn to trust their intuition is by playing the phone game. Before you look at your phone to see who is calling, see if you can see if you can get the sensation of who is calling you. Who is the connection? What is a connection? And just play with that. Know that it takes time, that it's not something that's just going to happen right away, that learning to trust your intuition is a process. It takes time to figure out how to differentiate these components of energy that you're using to make decisions, because we have our mind, we have our body, we have our spirit, we have all of these other things that are showing up. So the other component that I wanted to talk about is emotions. What is the emotional connection, or how do we tell the difference between our emotions, our feelings, and our intuition? So the emotions, the feelings, and the intuition. The emotions are our basic intrinsic emotions. So happiness, sadness, glee, jealousy, anger, all of those things are also sensations. They can be feelings, because you could say, I felt sad about this, I felt mad, I felt angry, I was happy. All of these things are ways for you to tell, are words or sensations that you can use to describe the feelings that you are having. However, emotions are much different than intuition. So intuition is a sensation, a hit, an intuitive channel from your spirit that is connecting with you. The emotion is more closely connected to your body, because you have a physiological response. Your body physically responds when you are feeling emotion, whether you're feeling jealousy or anxiety, you feel that knot in your stomach. When you're anger, you start to get hot, your body temperature starts to rise. When you're sad, you feel it in your heart. Like wherever it is, there is a physical sensation. That physical sensation is also, it's also shows up energetically. So when I read and I do readings with people, what I'm reading is the energetic frequency of their emotions, because the emotional attachment to outcomes, the emotional attachment to desires, the emotional attachment to what it is that you don't want to let go of in order to trust your intuition, are the things that are holding you back. So the emotions, I'm going to repeat that, the emotions to what it is that you are feeling, the emotional attachments, are the things that are holding you back. The emotional attachment to the story of trauma. So if you were, for instance, heaven forbid, but if you were raped as a young child, or if you were abused by your parents, or if you had these stories of significant trauma, there is an emotional attachment to the identity, because those events have shaped who you are for so long that there becomes an emotional attachment to that identity. I am that person because that event made me sad. And you have to be really careful with that, because it can leave you stuck in victim energy. You can be the victim with the emotional attachment to the event for your entire life until you let go of it. So that emotional attachment, see how this is, it's a feeling, it is a sensation, however, it is much different than intuition. So the emotional attachment to the trauma or the event is what is going to keep you stuck. I had a friend once tell me that emotions are like floats in a parade, that as you can sit there and watch the floats go by, and that's fine because they all pass. Anger passes, jealousy passes, happiness passes, they all pass. And where you get stuck is when you jump on the float and you identify, this is what I'm going to be for whatever event. And so until you consciously decide, this is not the way I want to be anymore, or I don't want to be sad about this anymore, then you can release the emotional attachment. I also sometimes call them snags. You'll be going along in life, and maybe the person that you broke up with 5 years ago pops through your mind, and all of a sudden you just have this eruption of anger. Okay, well, you haven't let go of the emotional attachment to what happened. Like, let's say that person cheated on you. Okay, so what is holding you back is not the event. It is not his choices or her choices. It is not the circumstances surrounding. What is holding you back is the emotional attachment to the event, the identity that you have created for yourself surrounding that event. Well, okay, so then I don't trust men in relationships because I had a partner that cheated on me, because there's an emotional attachment. That is doing you a complete disservice. It is holding you back. So that sensation, that feeling is what is important to let go. You hear let it go all of the time. Let it go. I mean, there's even a Disney song about it. Okay, so we're learning to let go as a society as a whole instead of holding on to things for so long. What's interesting about that is that a lot of people don't know how to let go or how to get over something. And that's okay, because it is one of those things that does have a process that once you learn how to do the process, you can do very easily as you're going through life. But until you learn that process, it's very easy to get stuck, to hold on to things. So the emotional attachment is what it is important to let go of. Check in with yourself, see how your emotions are holding you back, and realize that you're not the victim. You're not a victim. You are empowered. Take responsibility for the roles that you have played in your life. And recognize that when you learn to follow your intuition and when you learn to trust your intuition, you learn to trust the life force that is here supporting all of us as the creator of the universe or the universal frequency, however you see that energy, that you are in a space where you have free will to choose, do I want to let my emotions or my reason and logic guide me, or do I want to learn to trust my intuition? Because the intuition is going to lead you to the path of your soul's purpose. And when you are on the path of your soul's purpose, you will be extraordinarily surprised by how easy life becomes and how fulfilling it becomes when you learn to release the attachment to the emotions, which are different feelings. So, bring it up, bring it all together here. Your emotion or your intuitive guidance is your spirit's way of communicating to your conscious mind, this is the path. This is the way to go. Or this is not the way to go. Don't go this way. There's danger there. So you can listen to your intuition in both accounts. Now, the other thing about emotions is that emotions will come and go. Emotions will come and go throughout your entire life. The important part about that connection is allowing yourself the freedom to let go of the emotional attachment and to observe and to take responsibility for what is the role that you are playing in your life that is creating the circumstances that would be holding you back. And that's where your empowerment comes in, with how to tell the difference between your intuition and your emotions, knowing that you still have choice. So with that, I hope you got a lot of tasty nuggets in this little talk here. If you have any other questions or anything else that you would like for me to go over, I would absolutely love to share space, love to make a video about what is it that you are trying to figure out, if I can help. And of course, if you would like to book a reading with me, please email me at sf@samanthafay.com. You can also contact me through my website or through Facebook at Psychic Medium Samantha Fay. I hope you're having the most wonderful day ever, and I do look forward to talking with you soon. And remember, we're in this together.